Hey everybody, just Farmer Jane this week. Poppy Mike is on vacation, woohoo! So I'm holding down the fort. But we're here in the garden June 15th. So much has changed in the last 2 weeks. We got some rainstorms. It was a beautiful thing. The heat's coming on. Things are just loving it. So I just thought we'd show you what we're doing this week in the garden. It is time to pick peas every day right now. They're coming in so strong. So we're going to be picking lots of peas this week. We're going to be harvesting chamomile. We're going to do a further video on how we do that and how we dry it and process it a little bit. Carrots are just starting to be ripe. The salad turnips are so good right now, and they're this is probably like, they start to get bitter when it gets too hot. These kind of salad turnips are just really, almost like a sweet radish flavor. I like to slice them up and steam them, or just grate them into a salad. The greens are also edible. Beautiful addition to the garden. Easy to seed too. The asparagus is starting to slow down in production, and what happens now is after you get this beautiful spear, the spear will become kind of leafy, gets to this point, and then it will send out these leaves, and these are actually tiny little flowers, which the bees actually love. So I'm gonna pretty much just continue to harvest the spears that come up, but now we just leave these fronds up for the whole summer. Once they start to turn brown, fully brown is when I'll cut them down. That won't be till late fall, winter. So you're just gonna have this beautiful height in your garden if you've got asparagus. And they pumped out really well this year. They're great. 22 years this patch has been here. Pretty awesome. Peppers have been slow. I think I find peppers are one of those things, if they have like 1 or 2 days that are just a little too cold for them, man, they just have a hard time pulling through. So they're all right, but I wish I'd planted them a week later, like I told you guys to do. Touche. Allium bulbs are beautiful still, as they were a couple weeks ago when we walked through. The lovage has just gotten even taller and cooler. It's delicious. Makes a great straw for your Bloody Mary drink. If you cut the stem, it's hollow in there. A fun fact. We've got some lettuces starting to kind of size up. Not quite ready yet. I've got a bunch of ready ones in the high tunnel though. The basil's finally starting to come through. I actually could harvest it now, but it took a little while. I think that cold spring was just tough on it, but we're starting to get there. Tomatoes are getting big. I did do the first line of trellising for them, and then I did take off the bottom leaves to keep the leaves from touching the soil. I find that helps to prevent some diseases, so you could do that too. And then snapdragons are looking good. I've got some beautiful broccoli heads really starting to form up. Cabbages and collards are coming through again. I don't know, it seems a little slower, but they're coming finally. And the onions are looking great. And beautiful pole beans just starting from seed down there. Let's go check out the garlic field, because I know a lot of you have questions about that. Here we are in the garlic field. The garlic is looking really beautiful. They enjoyed that cold spring that we had. It's time for cutting scapes. So about half the field we've got the scapes off. The scape is just this, what would be the flower of the garlic plant. And we're just gonna snap it off so that the energy of the plant, instead of goes into making a flower, which is a cool flower, goes into making a beautiful big garlic bulb. So we've just found that's what works. People disagree in the industry about whether or not you need to do that. I have done side-by-side trials, and I have bigger garlic when I do this. Maybe it's different in your garden, but I recommend doing it. Also, these are delicious. So we just chop these up just like you would garlic. Chop it up, saute it in a pan, throw in some greens, delicious. You make a great pesto with these. You can just chop them up, put them in your food processor with basil and nuts and cheese. Really good. And they're kind of like getting to be more well known. I know some chefs that are seeking these out, so fun thing to add to your market garden if you have them. And I just snap them with my hand. Some people prefer to use scissors because you will smell very garlicky at the end of your harvesting. A lot of you bought garlic seed from us last year. If you did, you're probably at the same stage. I recommend starting to cut these scapes back. We've also got strawberries in season right now, just for our family and friends. And we have our strawberries planted in between our rows of rhubarb. They make a great pie together. They make a great companion plant. It's pretty great. So later in the summer, the leaves of the rhubarb kind of help shade out the strawberries, prevent them from burning. They seem to be a happy companion. This is actually the 4th year of this strawberry bed. So usually I just do 3 years and then start fresh, but we're stretching it out a little bit, and they seem to be quite happy. Do have a little bit of damage. I don't know if you guys are experiencing some slugs this year, but This I notice is a little bit of slugs have taken nibbles out of some of the strawberries, but I'm not too super concerned because we have plenty. And then the last thing I'm going to show you guys is things we're still planting from seed in trays to keep things going in your garden. So each time you pull something out, those early spring greens or whatever you're going to be pulling out, your turnips, you have something else to put in the ground. Keeping that soil full of living plants is really, really good for your soil microbes, and also just beautiful. So let's go take a peek at the seeds. Here we are in our seeding area. So I'm still planting a lot of things in trays. Every week there's something to plant. So these are just, I've got some marigolds. This is a second round of summer squash. There's zucchini and patty pan summer squash. Lots of lettuces. Every week pretty much I plant lettuce, just a small amount. This is actually 4 different varieties of lettuce. You'll see they're teeny tiny, they're starting to come up. Basil's another one I do in succession, so this will be my 3rd round of basil starting from seed. We do have different cosmo flowers, nasturtiums. Flowers are a great thing to just tuck in after you're pulling out some of your early spring things. I just love adding those in. Red broomcorn, that's a really fun crop. Makes it it's a flower, but it makes it almost like a broom, and kids can sweep with it in the fall. Tithonia, it's a Mexican sunflower I love a lot. And some kales. I'm doing another round of kales. I think that's about it. Beets. I started doing beets I started seeding them in here as a comparison to just direct seeding them in the garden. And so far they're both doing pretty well, but I think the ones that I transplant actually are more consistently germinating. So I've been working on that. But yes, keep seeding some stuff. It's a really inexpensive way to keep your garden full. Last thing I'll show you is we've got some beautiful lettuces in here, but it's getting too hot in here now that it's June 15th. And so I'll be taking those out, harvesting them as soon as they're ready. And then I just wanted to show you this. This was a borage plant. It volunteered itself, so a seed just dropped last season, planted itself, and it has I just let it be, and it is just glorious. It is full of bumblebees, quite a few different species of bumblebees. And there used to be 16 species of bumblebees in Rhode Island that we knew of, and I think we're down to 6 now. So this is just making me encouraged. I'm gonna plant a lot of this next year because I'm super excited about what borage is bringing. And it's just a fun, edible flower. So that's what I just want to end up. Let's help our bees, help our insects, our pollinators, our birds, keep our gardens full, our bellies nourished, and appreciate you all. Thank you so much.